Hello, my name is Veronica, and welcome to the Learning Lab, episode number 51, Corner Punch TKO. Yep, it's a technical knockout because this is the last one I plan to knock out. Come into the lab today and let me share a couple of more tips for you for using your corner punch as a border punch. In a previous video, I shared with you how to use your corner punch to make a border punch. And this is just something that I did while I was playing around with them, some of my embossing folders and some of my Tim Holtz inks, just to give a quick look at some of the awesome things that you can do when you think outside of that corner. On this one, I left the edge on, and you can see how that looks. On some, I took off the edge. For example, on this Cherish punch, love the way that it turned out. And this is the string lace. I made a little boo-boo there when I was running it through my cuddle book folder, but when I do use this on a page, I'll just put my quote or journaling over that or wrap some ribbon around it. Here's another one where I left the loops there. This one is that Cherish, which you might not think about pairing it with an animal print, but I did and I like it. It looks kind of like teeth. And for a boy's birthday card or just a hey, how you doing, I think it would look great. This is those adorable raindrops, and as you can see, I removed the tip on that. This is the string lace again, but I used it with the diamond cuddle book folder. And this one, which I think is probably my favorite, it's almost like a texture fade. And this is a 6 folder, but I used it with the double loops. But that's not why we're in the lab today. We're in the lab today to take a look at how I created this beauty. Okay, let me share it with you. Now, to get started on this, I use just some plain old white cardstock paper that I got at Office Depot. It's the Wausau brand, and it's the index weight, so it's nice and thick and heavy. And it's 8.5 by 11. I take that, cut it into half, and get 2 pieces that are 8.25 by 5.5, and then I'll take the 5.5 pieces and cut those down and get even smaller pieces. And that's how I was able to punch these. Now, I don't worry too much that this is the exact size if I wanted to fold a piece of letter cardstock in half, because by the time I cut it and trim it and cut off some of the inches, as you can see, it'll fit on there perfectly with even room to spare. I played around after doing that last one and came out with this really cute border punch. Here we are with this awesome piece. Looks great, right? But here's a piece that I did that's even better. It's perfect from end to end. And here's what I did. Took it and I marked it. There are the lines. This piece is 3.5 by, it's probably 11. Let's make sure it is. There's my little thing. It's 3.5 by 11. And then I marked these at every inch mark, and they came out perfect. This one I eyeballed and I thought it was perfect, but once I laid it on top of this one, as you can see, the first 2 are kind of spot on, but as I go further and further down, they get more off track. And so I went from there to this one, and I want to say I spaced it every 1.5 inches apart, but because these are so large, I couldn't get as many, but then I just trimmed off the edges and it was all good. When I did this one, I only marked the bottom part. Then I thought, well, I can eyeball the top part and it'll be fine. And it really wasn't that fine because right in here you can see where I kind of got off because I was basing it on the one that I had punched prior to that one. And I cut this one. It was 3 inches wide. You can see where the centerpiece got really close together, and these were skewed because I wasn't on the line for one thing. But here, when I went to the 3.25 inch, gave me a much nicer gap space in between here and made these come out just absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, I still have one more to punch, and I think I have time to do that for you. I am going to push it flush to the back of the punch. my final punch, and there is a beautiful strip to go onto your scrapbook page, or you can cut away the tips and you get that nice border as you've seen other people do. You can wrap it around a glass or a wine bottle, or okay, we know where my mind is. Whatever you want to do with it. Okay, moving right along. Well, this was done at 3 inches, just like this one, but you can see the results that you get when you just simply draw that line it up. They're going to come out beautiful. I have 2 more that I want to share with you, and this is using the crowns. And what I did was decide on my paper measurement, and this is 1 and 10/16 or 1 and 5/8. I know someone is thinking, how do you count that? Let me see if I can get my ruler situated and I can show you. So when you're looking at this, and I said 1 and 10/16, when you're here with the next little dot, you'll start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is a halfway mark, and then 9, 10. That's 10 out of the 16 marks. Or if you're looking at the 5/8, if your ruler is not that detailed, but if you count the long marks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, like the 8, halfway, 5, and that's your 5/8 right there. And I've been punching every inch. I did a little bit of experimenting, and with the small ones, if you do every inch, you will be okay. It's the one like the double loops, the big Giganoto one. Thinking about my kids' dinosaurs now. But with this one, I'm not pushing it flush against the back. I'm making sure the tip is lined up with the edge and my pencil mark is going through it. And that's what's going to give me a perfect punch all the way down to the end of my page. Yeah, I'm here, so I'll do the last one. And then remove that tip, and you've got a beautiful little thing to put a greeting in. Maybe smile, S-M-I-L-E, and stick your letters in there, and by the time you ink this up and put it on your card or your scrapbook page for your title, it'll be beautiful. Okay, the final one, well, almost final one. That in and of itself would look great going down the side of a scrapbook page. I took it a step further, went ahead, went all the way down on one side, came back up on the other side, and I got this cute little thing in the middle. Now for this one, this is cut at 2 inches wide and 11 long, and I scored it at every inch mark. Now I've made another one to do that I cut at 2 1/4. I want to see if I can open up this piece right here. Okay, quick little tip on how I mark my paper. Now this is 2 1/4, and I do want to do it every inch. This lead has a fat tip to it. Instead of having your ruler spot on top of the line, give it a little push back because of this fat lead, and you're going to allow for that room, and then that's going to make your line connect from end to end. Okay, now we have all of those marked, and I'm just simply going to push this in and push it all the way to the edge, aligning my center, and punch. And we're going to compare this 2 1/4 inch piece to the 2 inch piece. I'll be back. And you can see the difference that 1/4 of an inch makes in that punch. So depending on the look you want, you know how wide to cut your paper. Here I barely have a center in there, and I get these cute little diamond shapes on the side. Here I do get a diamond shape, slightly different, but I have much more space in between those two. Gotta tell you, I am loving these punches. This was at 2 inches, and this was at 2 1/4 inches in width. Now, before I go, I've been a very naughty girl. I was out in the store helping my son get things for his Pinewood Derby car contest. Came across this gem. It's my son commenting about the race this morning. He came in second place in his den. But at the end, when the kids were all just racing their cars together, he was smoking everybody, gotta tell you. But I came across this and I just had to get it. So let me see if I can punch some chocolate hearts out of this paper. It's just some die cuts with a blue paper. And this is the deep edge border hearts. And I just have to play around with this. I'm sorry. So you're going to get to cut with me for the first time. Wow, wow, and wow. And then look at all these cute little chocolate hearts that you end up with. Nice confetti. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, folks at Martha Stewart. You've done it again. Love this. Gee whiz, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in the lab today as we learn another little technique for getting the most out of our corner punches. Gosh, this has been a whirlwind for me, but as I said before, this is a TKO. This is a technical knockout. No more border punches from me for a while. My next job is going to take a look at how I can use these to make some cute little cards for myself, for my friends, and for my family. Please remember to visit my blog at inkallusions.blogspot.com where you'll find a lot more information and inspiration. Until then.